best way to ruin a great video is to cheat your audience out of acceptable audio. Exhibit 1. Any microphone is better than no microphone. Yes, this is true. But if you had to finish most of your videos with some kind of audio like this, where it's far away, peaking audio that's too loud, or any distracting kind of audio, you're probably gonna scroll away from whatever the video is. So I'm gonna present to you 4 different methods to improving your audio and why you should use them. Hey fam, I'm Mike, nurse, photographer, and videographer. And on this channel, I make videos about camera gear and tutorials for the visual storyteller. We're going to talk about some strengths and weaknesses and circumstances of why you'd use different microphones other than the onboard microphone that you have in front of you. And then in the end, I'll give you my recommendation. The condenser microphone. Some strengths are that it's familiar, it's straightforward to use, and easy to set up, easy to capture audio with multiple people. The weaknesses though, that it's limited by cables unless you got wireless transmitters, or if you got a wireless condenser microphone. In windy situations, it's also a weakness unless you have a muffle or a wind protector of some sort. For the most part, you're going to use these for podcasts, singing, interviewing, voiceovers, and you could use it for even streaming. For me personally, I don't have a podcast, but I would use it for that if I had one. Otherwise, I would use it for streaming. The very latest work in this area has revealed that sleep deprivation even impacts the DNA and the learning-related genes in the brain cells of the hippocampus itself. A lack of sleep, therefore, is a deeply penetrating and corrosive force that enfeebles the memory-making apparatus within your brain, preventing you from constructing lasting memory traces. It is rather like building a sandcastle too close to the tide line. The consequences are inevitable. Second kind of microphone is your phone. Now before you say anything, consider the strengths. It's handy, you're usually carrying your phone anyway, so there you go. Another pro to it is that if you're recording video, sometimes the software in the premium phones are making it so that they can clear out the background noise and just focus on your voice. In addition to just using your bare phone, you could also attach some headphones and just talk directly into the microphone piece, and it acts as a lavalier. Some weaknesses though is that it doesn't have a wind muff, so outdoors it's not ideal for the clearest audio that you can get. And you want to use a specific microphone app. If you're relying on the default microphone app that you have, it's going to be automatic. It's going to go up and down just so that it sounds clear. But if you want more manual control, you do have to download a different kind of microphone app. Okay, so the circumstances that you would see phones being used for capturing audio is for run and gun situations, interview, singing, voiceover, interviews on the street. The YouTuber uses his phone to record audio. Not all the time, but I see him doing it a lot. The very latest work in this area has revealed that sleep deprivation even impacts the DNA and the learning-related genes in the brain cells of the hippocampus itself. A lack of sleep, therefore, is a deeply penetrating and corrosive force that enfeebles the memory-making apparatus within your brain, preventing you from constructing lasting memory traces. It is rather like building a sandcastle too close to the tide line. The consequences are inevitable. Alright, next up, shotgun microphone. It stays at a shot just like this. It gives you a clean look, clean audio, picks up everything that's in front of it, muffles anything outside of the range. It's best for single person, vlogging, because most people just stick it on top of their camera. Weaknesses though is that sometimes it does require somebody to have to boom it over you. So with that alone, you may not have the room to have a shotgun microphone, especially depending on the focal length that you're shooting on. I got a 50mm on right now. And again, it just captures whatever's in front of it. You can see people using shotgun microphones when they're doing films, especially if they're not using lavaliers, but I mean, it could have a second redundant audio just in case something goes wrong. YouTube videos such as this one, interviews. The very latest work in this area has revealed that sleep deprivation even impacts the DNA and the learning-related genes in the brain cells of the hippocampus itself. A lack of sleep, therefore, is a deeply penetrating and corrosive force that enfeebles the memory-making apparatus within your brain, preventing you from constructing lasting memory traces. It is rather like building a sandcastle too close to the tide line. The consequences are inevitable. And last but not least, as I said, lavaliers. They're just small little microphones that you could just clip onto anything. Strengths are that you can attach a wind muff to it, so it's okay to use outdoor situations. You can attach it to a camera microphone port directly instead of having a wireless receiver. I mean, you could have that too. You can keep your subject far away while also having clear audio. You just gotta sync it in post. It's easier to hide if you're just going to have it in your shirt, like in the inside or on your chest. And overall, you can mic up different people for different scenes, or even if you just want to have a podcast and you just want to lav up everybody. For weddings, I would lav people up. Mostly the groom and the pastor though. Weaknesses. If you have the lavalier in your shirt, the ruffle of the clothing will interfere, especially if you move a certain way. This is a mic test for ruffling sounds. And here we go. Okay, I'm just ruffling it down below. Just pulling my shirt down. Swinging my arms. That's pretty much that. You're not going to get the best audio, but it's definitely better than the onboard microphone. In any circumstances, out of all these microphones, one of the best places to catch audio is right in front of your mouth, or at least around this area. So you may not have the clearest audio when I'm doing lavalier, but again, much better than the onboard microphone. Circumstances to use. You're going to use these lavaliers for run and gun situations, interviews, things like weddings, singing, voiceovers. The very latest work in this area has revealed that sleep deprivation even impacts the DNA and the learning-related genes in the brain cells of the hippocampus itself. A lack of sleep, therefore, is a deeply penetrating and corrosive force that enfeebles the memory-making apparatus within your brain, preventing you from constructing lasting memory traces. It is rather like building a sandcastle too close to the tide line. The consequences are inevitable. A lot of these microphones can be overlapped. At the end of the day, you just gotta make the best of what you have. But I mean, let me know, what kind of videos are you shooting and what is your current microphone setup? As someone who started spending most of his money on camera bodies and lenses, I learned that it was really only half of the video experience. The condenser mic is an easy one to recommend, but ultimately, depending on the look and the convenience you're willing to go, will determine your setup. I have a boom mic, or at least a shotgun microphone, instead of a condenser microphone to keep my shot cleaner and out of my face, or at least out of my shot. But if I had a podcast, then for the vibes and to prioritize the audio experience, then I get the condenser microphone. Keep things directly in front of my mouth, and then even use one of these things, because that's what it protects against plosives. For beginners though, you don't need an XLR microphone or an audio interface if you don't already have them. Bare minimum is just a shotgun microphone that you can pick up for $40 or $60. Just attach it to your camera, plug it in, done, least friction, minimal setup time. You can use any of these microphones aside from your onboard microphone on your camera, and it's just going to improve the audio and video experience. Lavaliers, if you're using them with a receiver, it's also another shortcoming that I forgot to mention was that battery life. If you're using wireless receivers, battery life. So hopefully it'll get you through the day or even through your video. Great. For the phone microphone, if the onboard microphone is really that intolerable, depending on the situation, I will just record on my phone. I would just use it as a handheld microphone. If you're looking to up your audio game to XLR, I show you in this video how to connect your XLR microphone to your camera. I'm Mike, reminding you to add life to what matters, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.